All right, guys. Well, this man needs very little introduction. Basically, a co-host on Submission Radio now. You saw him last on our exciting live watch-along. And now more exciting news as his official return is official. UFC
Yeah.
311 against Renato Moicano. Beneil Dariush, we're on our way back into the octagon, man.
Yeah, I'm stoked. The timing of it is perfect, and the location of it is perfect. I like. This card is just perfect for me. I'm super stoked about it.
Before we talk about the actual fight itself, okay, congratulations in order, man. You have a third baby girl. This all went down a couple of weeks ago. The missus is feeling okay. The baby likes to sleep, you were telling me. Take
Yeah,
me through that, man. How does it feel? Three
yeah.
girls,
It's
unbelievable.
a third time. One more baby. I make beautiful babies, and I make them exclusively women. So this is gonna be this is my third daughter, and we're just stoked. It's a different energy when you have a newborn. So we're just enjoying that.
Mm. How do you enjoy that energy while preparing for a fight? I've always wondered that because, like, even when Archie was born, my 2-year-old, and I was doing this show, it was interesting. Like, a part of me loved it because it was a nice break, a chance to do something different. But at the same time, you're just so tired all the time, and you got two other kids on top of that.
Yeah, so I think what's been so good is our new gym. Praise the Lord, man. My new gym, I'm able to do all my training there, and my kids are always there. Every single time I go there, my kids want to go there before I go there. They go there, they play, and as soon as I'm done, I get to hang out with them. And even when I'm training, they'll be like, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing?" Blah 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 blah. So it's like I'm always around them, and I don't obviously it's not as exclusive as it would be if we were just at home or we're at the park or whatever with my time, but I'm still there. They're still seeing me a ton, and I'm seeing them a ton. And last two camps it wasn't like that because I didn't have the gym. I would drive around a bunch. If my wife could keep up following me, she would, but majority of the time she would just have to stay home, and then I would have to come back. It was a lot trickier this time with the new gym. It's way bigger, lots of space for them to play. It's been fantastic, and the camp's been really it's been going really well because this entire last year I basically set up for camp in my gym. I've been preparing and putting everything together so I could do these camps here, and just we're on fire right now.
Mm. Obviously, every fight's a big fight, especially for yourself. And, you've got the family there all the time for all the fights. But do you find like a added sense of purpose or excitement now that you've got your new daughter going in here, like, almost like, kind of a little bit of extra buzzed up going in
I don't
there,
know,
being like,
man.
all right.
I've always been like, you're not gonna get me to be more motivated. I never, I feel like I was as motivated as you get. I want to provide for my kids. And I had two of them before Lily came. So this is, it's not like anything changes for me. I got to provide for my family. I have to win. Like my desires haven't really changed much. I wouldn't say so. What's cool is like my moments of break when things are going well, I get a little break. I just hold her. That's like the best for me. As soon as I finish training, I'll go shower. Grab her, and then I'll just go sit somewhere or walk around somewhere. That's always the best. With my last two fights, I was able to take my kids to the fights, and it wasn't really difficult, but I wasn't planning on taking three kids with me, especially a newborn. So the fact that the fight is here, bro, it's great. I'm not missing out on anything.
Yeah. So they'll be watching from home, or they're going to come
Yeah,
to
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my wife wants to go to the fights, but I
Yeah.
was like, "You're not taking three kids to the fight, so you could leave them with the grandparents or something, and then go to the fights. But you're not gonna basically, get up and bring three kids to the fights just because you want them to have the experience. When they're older, they can have that experience, or shoot, they don't even need to have that experience. Who needs to watch fights? Little kids don't need to go watching fights. If they're older and they're interested, I can take them.
Yeah, they can watch tapes back. It's interesting that you mentioned holding Lily because it's sometimes you get swept up in this whole thing, right? Like the next fight could sometimes seem like the most important thing. And it's nice to have those moments with your daughter to
Oh,
be able
bro,
to see
it's
what really matters and to kind of keep your mind in check. Moicano, man, I think this is a great fight. Everyone's super excited for it. How do you feel about this being the next fight? And how did you guys come to Moicano in the end as the fight?
to be honest, when the UFC reached out to me, I told them just give me a name. I'm not in a position where I can decide who I fight like before. Coming off 2 losses, so I just said give me a name. I'm just ready to go. So I waited, and they came back to me with Moicano, and I was stoked. He's on a 6-fight win streak or 5-fight win
Mm-hmm.
streak. I don't remember exactly, but he's killing it right now. All his fights, he's looked great. Even when he's gotten hurt, he's gone back and he's found a way to win. So I'm super impressed with him, and looking forward to trying to solve that puzzle.
He was a little bit bummed out when he spoke to Ariel Helwani this week. Did you see his comments?
I did not. I didn't even know he spoke to Ariel. Normally he makes
Yeah.
so much noise on his interviews. I hear a little bit here and a little bit there. Why was he disappointed? Is it because
Well, he said
he has to
you're
fight
a
me?
tough fighter. He says you're a tough fighter, but you're not what he was expecting. He said, I don't think it's what I deserve. He goes, but who gives an F? It's a fight. Anything can happen. I don't care who
Yeah,
I'm
I
fighting.
get
But he was
it.
just kind of saying like he felt like he deserved more or
Uh,
something.
I get it. Like it's a tough fight, and for whatever reason, I'm ranked now. I don't know where I'm ranked. I'm like number 8 or 9 or something. Somehow I got
Number one in our hearts. Number one.
Yeah,
That's really
I
all that
appreciate
matters.
that.
Yeah.
I think what his thing is like why I got to fight the number 8 guy when I'm coming off of 6 wins. But I've been there before. What was it at 5 wins? I had to fight Diego Ferreira again, who was a guy I had already beaten, and so I fought him, and then after that I got to fight Tony Ferguson. Everybody who fought Tony Ferguson got a title shot except for me at that point, and then they're like, okay, just one more and you'll get a title shot. So I fought Matos Gamrot, and still didn't get a title shot. I get his complaint because I've been there, but at the same time, like. I don't make the rules. I'm just excited to fight.
Yeah, exactly, man. I think, look, I understand his perspective, but this is a great fight. He had one more thing to say about this fight as well. He sent you a bit of a message. He said, I think he's on in his prime. I will train and prepare myself to be best version of Dariush. I know he lost a couple in a row. Now it's time for him to basically win. If he loses this one, he's going to be in a bad situation. But I have something to tell Beneil. You will be in a bad situation because I'm not going to lose. I can't afford to lose. So he's basically saying, I guess, like for him, the stakes are just as high as yours. But yeah, that
Yeah,
was kind of his message to you that he sent out there.
that's a pretty good message. The only problem is this. I know he thinks I'm past my prime, but bro, I feel better than ever. So I'm very much looking forward to getting this fight and just getting that octagon. I don't feel like I've been able to perform the way I should the last 2 fights, and they're gonna see something different this fight. So I'm looking forward to that, and reminding people who I am. Like people forget, and they have a short memory, and so that's the goal for this game plan. For this fight, the game plan is just to remind people who I am and why I was considered a contender, and at the doors of a title shot.
And you've been away from the octagon for a minute, man. And I know every time I speak to you, there's a little injury here and there's a little thing there. But would you say this is the healthiest that we've probably seen you in a little bit? This
Yeah,
upcoming fight?
that's for sure. That's another thing. This last year, I got to take care of a lot of like lingering things, and just prep myself properly. So I worked on my knees, I worked on my neck, my back, everything. If I thought there was an issue, I worked on it. So I feel really good for this camp, and obviously I never make excuses, and this camp won't be any different.
So Moicano, right? He beat BSD with a pretty crazy shoulder injury thing. I don't know if you saw he had like a little break in there or something. Um,
Yeah.
what did you make of that performance against BSD with Moicano kind of being a bit compromised at the same time?
You know what's interesting about that fight? The way I looked at their skill sets, I thought BSC was the more explosive fighter, more dangerous fighter. But Moicano was, the seasoned veteran and the more intelligent fighter. He took advantage of a one mistake that, and some might not even consider it a mistake, of BSD made, and he capitalized on it so well that he pretty much didn't have to do anything in the second round except for land a few jabs, and those jabs, ended the fight. So his performance in this last fight was excellent. There's nothing you can say that he didn't do well.
I want to thank our sponsors for making Submission Radio possible, and of course, Manscaped. One of the sponsors that's been with us the longest is your go-to this holiday season. I want to talk to you guys about the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra by Manscaped. Don't be that family member who shows up solo and scruffy to yet another holiday gathering. Get your winter overgrowth under control with the Weed Whacker 2.0 and that Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, baby. It helps you seal the deal this cuffing season. Who knows, you might even outshine your weird uncle who's still rocking the goatee from 1985 and claim your spot at the top of the sibling power rankings. It's the all-for-one grooming kit. You got the Lawnmower 5.0. Of course, we know this thing is the best. The Weed Whacker 2.0 for your ear and nose hair. And of course, the Bowl Aftercare. And the free gifts included the Boxer 2.0, which is the Midnight Bravo, and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag, which I love to use during the holiday time myself. It is what I'm wearing right now. Go to Manscaped right now, use the code word submission, get a massive discount, free shipping, plus you're supporting the show. A big thanks to Manscaped for supporting the program for all these years. Speaking of great things this holiday season, why not try SAILY? SAILY is your eSIM that keeps you connected wherever you go around the world this holiday season. You only have to download it once. It's affordable prices no matter where you go. Global and regional plans. It saves you time. You don't have to wait in line at the airport to get a local SIM card, which I absolutely hate. You can avoid scams that, obviously sell you the fake SIM cards at those airports, outside train stations, and other little areas. All SAILY eSIM plans are compatible for iOS or Android services, 24/7 support, and you get a full refund if your device isn't eSIM compatible. I just downloaded the app. Here I am. Here I want to travel to France, and boom, it's that simple. All you guys got to do is download the app, go through the prompts, and you're sorted, mate. Go to saily.com/submission. Use the code word submission and get a massive 15% off your first purchase. Try SAILY this holiday season. Trust me, it's an absolute game changer. Speaking of this holiday season, when you're traveling abroad, thanks to SAILY, you're able to connect with everyone. What about staying safe? Thanks to NORDVPN. NORDVPN is the best VPN out there, the very best app out there. You can try it risk-free today by clicking the link in the description. Why do you choose NORDVPN, do you ask? Well, you got the Threat Protection Pro, you got the Global Service Network. It's incredibly fast, reliable encryption, safe from disruptions, and 24-hour support, 7 days a week. You get a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. If you don't like it, you don't have to keep it. Try it for 30 days. What do you have to lose? And of course, don't forget, you've got the Nord Locker file encryption tool. You've got the NordPass password manager. It's all happening at NordVPN. Protect yourself on public Wi-Fi. Find yourself cheaper deals online. Get yourself cheaper flights, cheaper streaming services, cheaper everything thanks to NordVPN. Protects your data and all your information. You don't want to lose your credit card information during the holiday time. Trust me, it is the worst thing that can happen to you. And of course, you can connect up one account to 10 devices. So you're absolutely sorted with NordVPN. Get this massive deal right now, plus 4 months extra free by going to nordvpn.com/submission. NordVPN is the best VPN in the game. Jump on it now. Now back to the program. How do you see you guys matching up? Obviously, you're both great fight IQs, both quite well-rounded. How do you see your skill set matching up with his?
I believe skill set wise, I'm better wrestling, better jiu-jitsu, better striking. And that's what I got to prove, come January 18th. I got to show that I have all the better skills. And it's easier said than done, because sometimes you're like, okay, I'm feeling good in my striking, and then all of a sudden it turns into a grappling match, or vice versa. But this is a fight where I'm not worried about wherever it goes. If it goes to the ground, I think I have an advantage. If it's standing, I think I have an advantage. So I think my biggest advantage will be apart from what I just said is I think I'm better in MMA transitions. I think I'm better at going from striking, grappling to striking.
It's interesting. Moicano said if he does beat you, he thinks he deserves the next title shot. But things in your division, and obviously if you beat Moicano, you're right back in there yourself. things in your division right now are pretty wild. I don't know if you saw, but Topuria basically said he's done with featherweight and he wants to fight Charles Oliveira next year to try and get that #1 spot for the title fight. What do you make of this strange situation, I suppose, of people trying to get to this #1 contender spot at the moment? And Topuria basically saying he's done with featherweight to try and make it happen.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. So, I've noticed like champions will just say stuff that and everybody will hang on it. And then I'll
Mm.
like, they'll move on from it in a couple of weeks. So I want to let it sit for a bit and see what happens next, because for him to say that, I thought he was matched up already with Volkanovski. So is he just, going to leave that
Apparently,
behind?
I don't know what's going on with this Volkanovski situation, man. It's really nothing's apparently confirmed. Diego Lopez is floating around there. I know Volk will only fight if the belt's involved, which he deserves. But yeah, I don't know. He's like how would you even see that fight between Topuria and Oliveira going? Oliveira is far from an easy matchup for Topuria, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's an easy matchup, and I think one of everybody thinks Tapura's like greatest strength is his boxing. And I agree. He has great boxing. But I also think people don't realize it. Both Volkanovski and Max were actually doing better in the striking until the leg kicks. You know how good people don't realize how well Topuria is able to implement the full MMA MMA rules. Like, bro, as soon as he was getting outworked in the striking, he starts going for the calf kicks. He kicked Volkanovski so hard, he did a 360. You know what I mean? And then after that, after those kicks, he wasn't the same guy. And then that's where the knockout came. Same thing with Max Holloway. Like if you watch the fight, you're gonna see Max Holloway actually doing a great job with his boxing. The only thing that goes wrong is really those leg kicks before the knockout. Once the leg goes, that's when the knockout happens. So to fight Charles Oliveira, who has great Muay Thai, and I think he's going to be better at defending the leg kick. He's a pretty decent wrestler. Charles is, and obviously has great striking himself, and he's going to have a size advantage. It would be a tough fight for Topuria, but I wouldn't put past him winning. I think he could win. I think Ilia could definitely win, but I think it would be a lot tougher than he thinks.
Mm. It's interesting there because you'll have that rematch, the title rematch on the same card as yours. I love that. Like you guys on there with Arman and Islam having that rematch. I see a lot of people saying that they're picking Arman to beat Islam. I know, like you mentioned, that you felt like Islam would do it again. Do you still feel that way, or do you think Arman might be able to shock some people here? The first one was somewhat competitive, though, right? Like Arman had a bit of success in that first one.
So I think Islam's going to win, and the reason why I think that is because Islam slows down in his fights. This what I'm saying is nothing new. Everybody knows that. But when they fought, Arman actually slowed down more than Islam. So I think that tells you that that's a big advantage, because in my opinion, if Arman wins, he would have to win early against Makhachev. I don't see him winning a 5-round fight against Makhachev personally, but I mean I could be wrong. But I do think Arman has the ability to win. If I had to put a number on it, I would say it's like 60-40, and I'm leaning towards Makhachev. It's not like I'm saying he's a huge underdog. I just think the further the fight goes, the more likely Makhachev wins. And from what I've seen, Arman slows down more than Makhachev does, and I think that's another benefit for Makhachev because he's very technical. He's got very good range. He knows how to play the long game, and then I think Arman is more explosive in the beginning, and he starts to slow down. His best chances are early. I think he can win in the first, second, or third round.
Hmm. All right, man. Well, we got Christmas coming up first. Going to be a special Christmas for you, man. Lily going to be around. What are we doing for this Christmas? I always wonder what Christmas is like when you're in fight camp. But like you're not cutting crazy amounts of weight, right? Like you're able to take a day to enjoy some food and have some fun with the family.
Food and like my weight is pretty good right now, but trying to think what. So
Like
Christmas.
can one Christmas day set you back like 4 or 5 days? Yeah.
Oh, easily.
nutrition-wise?
If I want, it could send me back 2 weeks if I'm not smart about it. But here's my game plan. It's Christmas. Everything I'm supposed to with my kids. Give them their gifts. Maybe get my wife something. Maybe not. We'll
You
see.
haven't gotten your wife her gift yet? Oh, no, Beneil.
Brother,
You never admit that,
it's
brother.
not Christmas isn't her birthday. It's Jesus's birthday. My kids
Here
can
we
have a
go.
gift, but when they grow up, they're not gonna get any gifts either. Like it's a silly thing that we do is buy gifts for each other on Christmas. I'm not a
You got all the gifts
huge
for the kids, though? You got all the gifts. They might want a Turbo Man, and then you won't be able to get one in time. You got all the gifts
yeah.
sorted?
I haven't got a Turbo Man, but I'll consider getting one for them. But right now for Christmas, I'd like to open up gifts. My wife gets all the gifts right now. I like to open up all the gifts with my kids, kind of hang out, and obviously my eating habits won't be super exciting for anybody. But what I would like to do is take just one day, and maybe probably not on Christmas Day, but just take one day and drink milk. I normally drink. Bro, I drink like 2, 3 glasses of milk a day. In my house, we go through a gallon of milk in like 2 days or a day. So, and I only buy like the good stuff. It's got to be like raw milk, and it's got to be the stuff that costs a pretty penny when it comes to milk. So, that might be my only thing I might do. I might have a cup of milk.
So you can't drink milk in training camp. It's got
Nah,
too much
too much
weight on it.
calories, too much
Yeah.
calories, and sometimes I like to add like honey and a little bit of cacao, so I make my own
Oh,
chocolate milk.
you're a
It,
bad
it
man, Beneil. You're
yeah,
vice. You have some vices, brother.
yeah. But bro, it's like when it's fight time, like that's one of the things I miss most. I don't drink too much coffee in camp. I'll drink it on the weekends, but like even coffee, like I miss it, but it's not that big of a deal. Milk. Milk is, on the other hand, is the thing that I think about the most, which is I know it's kind of strange, grown man, but we grew up on a farm, man. Drinking milk has always been part of my life.
Yeah, it's weird. We grew up in that time where everyone was like, drink milk, it's good for you. And then you realize what it does to your body, and you're like, oh my God. Hey, wait a minute. So you're not going to have any Christmas presents?
Um,
You don't get Christmas presents? What's
I,
all this about?
my wife got stuff for the kids. I don't. She might have got something for me. I'll probably go. I'll go
What
get
kind
her
of stuff
something.
does she usually buy you though? Like,
It,
I want, yeah.
What she get? She gets me like nice jackets. She gets me like a bunch of nice stuff. She buys gifts for my sister and my nieces. She's the best when it comes to stuff like this. For me, I'm like, okay, what do you want? And then she'll just go get herself jewelry or something. It's I'm not like holiday gifts are kind of a weird thing for me, so I'm not a huge one about that. Like if you come to my house with Valentine stuff, I'll just ask you to leave because we're like in my house we don't do that crap.
I love it. All right, guys, get those cold glasses of milk ready because Beneil Dariush is on his way back to the Octagon UFC 311. I hope you can enjoy that cacao honey milk, at least for one day, Beneil, and I appreciate you, man. Hey, I'm really excited for this fight. I think this is a great fight. I can't wait to chat to you afterwards as well. It's going to be, you know what? I'll pour a glass of milk myself.
I
By the way,
appreciate
you
that.
don't even drink coffee. You're a
I
madman.
drink it on the weekends. I get some coffee on the weekends.
Black coffee, bro. That's the only way I could get down and wait. That's
Yeah,
insane. Yeah.
yeah. So I'll get some coffee on the weekends. I'll get some gourmet coffee on the weekend. But overall, just no coffee. Super like lean on my calories. It's BS is what it is. But whatever. It's all worth it so I can get to fight again.
Make sure to check out Kings Anaheim, of course, beautiful gym, and congratulations again, man. Wow, Lily, third girl. What an amazing holidays it's going to be for you, man. All the
Thanks,
best. I
brother.
can't wait to see what happens in the fights.
Yeah, take care, brother. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.